engineers. And as Rasclem said, she's coming in all the way from Hartford, Connecticut. Ms. Henry is responsible for providing strategic direction and technical leadership to the engineering organization and ensures proper integration and technical execution across the legacy commercial engine programs while ensuring product design quality and adherence to schedule and cost and compliance with program and consumer requirements. And Dionne began her career in the aerospace industry as a mechanical engineer and has been with Pratt & Whitney for 19 years, holding various roles of increasing responsibility, including Senior Director of Global Services Engineering, where she led a team of engineers in the design, development, validation, and implementation of component repair solutions for commercial and military engines. Ms. Henry is very active in her local community and engages the next generation through various speaking engagements. She was a CT Woman of Innovation nominee back in 2014 and also a member of the National Society of Black Engineers and sponsor of the Pratt & Whitney Engineering African American Advisory Council. She holds a Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering from Boston University and an MBA and Master's of Science in Business Management from the State University of New York. Quite impressive, Rasclem.
She is the first African American woman. She's the first black woman. She is a proud Jamaican woman, Anthony Turner, and she's the first to sit in the company's 91 years history as a black woman leading in that role. Dionne Henry, welcome to Groovin Radio.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here, Rasclem.
All of that Anthony just spoke about, is that really you, Miss Dionne Henry?
You know, as I'm listening to it, I'm like, is that really me?
Wow.
But yes.
Proud
yes.
Jamaican,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, wow. You know, you make all of us proud. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I'm meeting you personally. I've heard so much about you from your dad, and this had to happen. But to know that you're one of us.
Yes.
Let's walk this back. Let's walk the youngsters listening to us back. Let's walk the audience back.
Sure.
Where in Jamaica you from?
Kingston,
Jamaica.
Yeah, capital.
At what age you came to this country, Dionne?
I came up here when I was 12 years old. My family migrated to New York City, Brooklyn, hail up to Brooklyn. Yeah.
So you came here when you were 12 years old?
Yes.
What was the transition like? Because I have to walk the world through this, you know, because you are in Pratt & Whitney, Anthony Turner, United Technologies, a Jamaican woman leading in the engineering field, Anthony Turner.
No, and it's quite impressive. And Dionne, as an engineer, I know what it is, the challenges of even going through an engineering program at any university here in the U.S. So I want to say congratulations, and we're extremely, extremely proud of your accomplishments.
And we're just proud to be in your presence and your company. So you came here at 12 years old.
Yes.
What was the transition like?
You know, it's coming to, doing anything as a preteen, just trying to establish yourself and, be at a new place, make new friends. It's always, a little hard, but, we have a strong family foundation, that, the culture builds for us. And, education was a paramount importance. And so you just kind of paid attention to what needed to be done. And my parents were very, resourceful in that way and motivated us to keep focused on what we need to do. And, you get through those things. As with, I say teenagers now are going through a lot worse stuff than we did at that time, I would say.
So your parents are rich, right?
No, man.
They're very rich because
we are immigrants. You missed that part in
no,
the
but
intro.
you must be rich immigrants because when you attended Boston University, you have a bachelor's degree. But before we even get there, because
no, they're not rich.
So they're not
and
rich.
I went on scholarship.
Okay, so
I'm a product of the New York City public school system. So I'm very proud of that as well.
Wow. So now you're in high school.
Yes.
How did you adapt to that?
Well, that's really great, and I'm glad you brought that up because my interest in STEM, which is the acronym for Science, Engineering, Technology, and Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, came out of what I did in high school because I was privileged to be able to, I've been kind of competitive all my life. I think you can see that from my resume. And I was, there's 3 specialized high schools in New York City. One of them is Brooklyn Tech, so you take entrance
the specialized
exam.
Test, yeah.
Yes, and so Brooklyn Tech, one of the unique features of the school is it's an engineering school. So you can choose any of the engineering majors. There's like 12 different ones, and aerospace, mechanical, and you get the chance to really get into the major. So you will take architecture design. We were casting molten metal at my school to get you interested in what happens when you transform something liquid to solid, or using wood and little things like that really just piqued the interest of the ability to design and the ability to make something new. And so with that, choosing mechanical engineering, and we were talking about teachers being so influential in that decision. In fact, in high school, my teacher told me to. My teacher was advising the students and indicated, get your engineering degree and then get an MBA. And so you can see my resume reads just like that, where if you internalize, the advice, it can really take you to the next level.
So you're at Brooklyn Tech. And, Anthony, it's amazing because when a lot of Caribbean immigrant comes here, what field do they end up in? Just tell me. Women.
Well, a lot of people get into nursing.
Stop right there. Stop right there. So here it is. We have a young Jamaican woman. She's in Brooklyn. She's at Brooklyn Tech. And now she's been encouraged to do engineering. Most of the time, you don't hear that.
Yes.
A lot of our women gets into nursing.
Yes.
And that's where they stay. But you, as a black woman, it's stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Engineering?
Yeah. That's a very good question. I think that we are motivated by making a difference in this world. And so I think nurses do that because you can immediately see how you heal somebody. And for me, it resonated with me, I think, that I could make a big difference in creating things that help people live better. And so at that age, I think because I loved what I was doing at school and I could see how, I was making a hammer in metal shop, you know what I mean? And some people may be like, what? But, that was cool to me. And so I kind of played that. And math was, I was okay to be good at math. It was okay to like that. It's okay to like science. And so I just propelled that forward. So that's
program note, ladies and gentlemen. Our very, very special guest is the first African American woman, a proud Jamaican. She is the program's chief engineer of operational commercial engines at United Technology, and I'm not stuttering, Pratt and Whitney, a 91-year-old company, and she's a Jamaican that's leading the engineering there, Anthony Turner. It is a very proud moment for you. It must be a very proud moment for your family, for you to be in that position. But we now transition into college. You're in college. You're doing engineering. Your peers, what were your peers like? What was the makeup of the surrounding? A black woman is in Boston College and you're in engineering.
All right. Yeah. Boston University.
Boston University. Yeah.
There were definitely, when you went into a mechanical engineering or aerospace engineering degree, you were one of very few faces of color in the room. And, honestly, Rasclem, the program was as challenging in itself. It was kind of exactly what the culture teach, kind of head down and do what you have to do to get it done. And so I didn't really spend a lot of time looking around, and there was enough intimidating things going on around there, with classes, and you're just so busy trying to stay ahead and keep doing what you're doing. But certainly, we did band together. The few of us that were in a program like this certainly band together and help each other as we went to the next phase. So it was actually quite an uplifting experience. I mean, not to say that there's not challenges when you go to a non-predominantly African American school. But you make your way, right? If you keep focused on the goal and the end goal.
I know, Anthony, she's still humble, She's still humble in her own right. Were there any moment while you were at Boston University, was there any moment that you said, I'm not in the right place? Was there any moment like that?
365 days every day of the
wow.
year. But you have to overcome every piece of those self-doubt, because it's really your own self working through. And so you have to work through those self-doubts yourself and continue forward. And, the rewards at the end of the day is wonderful. And what you find out is it is your own self-doubt. What them call a doctor who graduate at the end of his class. Them still call him doctor.
Yeah. Anthony, I know you're sitting there listening and you're probably focusing on all the stuff you read. Your thoughts, Anthony Turner?
Yeah, man, very impressive. I know, as I said, having been an engineer, I know that there are not many females in the engineering program. And, at City College where I went, there are a few females there.
Big up City College.
Yeah, man. I can think of Antoinette. She was an engineer at City College with me, and I'm proud. I see you're a member of the National Society of Black Engineers. That was something that we're proud to be a member. So talk to us about that, and that may also offer some inspiration to some of the people, especially the females listening out there.
Yes, I mean, NSBE has been, just weaving its way through my life. I was a member when I was undergrad. I was chair and president of the local alumni chapter that I participated on after school. NSBE helped me get my first job in that they have, at the national conventions, they have a whole host of maybe thousands of companies that come out specifically to interview and choose diverse talent for their companies, because companies diversity and inclusion is very big. They know that companies realize that their growth and their ability to make revenue and their ability to compete rely on having a diverse voice at the table. And so it becomes you become in high demand, and it's evident. And when you go to NSBE, you'll see the solidarity of all these engineers. There's thousands that go at the annual convention, and then also you get to go to companies like my company, Pratt & Whitney and UTC, are out there looking for the best and brightest talent. So it's certainly been something that's been a blessing to my life, and my company too is somehow a supporter of this organization.
Anthony and Dionne and listeners, with all what's happening in Jamaica, here it is. We have a young Jamaican woman who came here to these United States, lived in Brooklyn. Where in Brooklyn did you live?
In Flatbush Avenue.
Lived in Brooklyn on Flatbush Avenue, Anthony. And she's not a whole woman, and she is the head, she is the program.
You say I'm not a whole woman?
No, she's not an old lady, Anthony. She's a young lady in her own right. And for her to be chief engineer at Pratt & Whitney, Anthony Turner, this speaks volume. And these are some of the front page stories that we would love to see in the Gleaner, because it motivate. It can motivate youngsters in Jamaica and all over the world, to inspire them that sky's the limit, Miss Henry.
It's true.
You can achieve.
You can.
And I tell you, your dad is very proud of you. He's extremely proud of his family. He's a proud man. He's proud of all his children. And oftentimes we will talk, and he'll talk about his children. And we said, boy, we must get your daughter on the radio and talk about this, because this is indeed a special moment. It's 2019. We're in the 21st century. And we as black people, we're still experiencing first. for you to be the first black woman to be at the head of Pratt & Whitney. When that call came, how did you feel?
So I am head of, the head of engineering for several programs there, and certainly and report into my VP, who's been very supportive. And I think you really have to be in an environment that allows you to grow and take chances. And then if the environment allows you to grow and take chances and take on responsibility, you have to lean forward and take it and do it in the best way. And so it's been an honor and privilege to serve in this way and to serve with the 200 or 300 engineers that report in and support our programs that are flying every day. So how do I feel? I feel really great to be in this space and really, and to be something that folks can look and say, okay, if she can do this, I can do it too. And we can get more and more and more. I was mentored by the first female engineer, non-African American descent, but and I worked for her, and that wasn't so long ago. And so under her tutelage, I saw that this could be something that I could achieve too. So mentoring becomes, key to learning and growing, and also willing to put yourself out there. It's a resilience that comes.
Dionne, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm hearing the Jamaican accent, which a lot of times, when we get into these influential positions, we tend to shed some of the things that make us who we are. But I see that you still maintain that Jamaican accent. Talk to us about that, because I think it's important to keep that essence of who we are as Jamaicans.
So, thank you, Anthony and Rascal. I think it's because you guys are talking to me in similar accents, so I am, speaking in that way myself. Right. So it certainly helps, to identify and you can't, as you said, you can't not hear it in my voice. Sometimes individuals, look at what makes us different and try to curb that and try to hide it. But really the difference is what makes us bring a unique thing to wherever we are, So, how am I going to try it? I'm proud of it, but, we do have to get there, some maturity for all of us, right? Where we get to where we're comfortable in our skin, and it doesn't, and then we stop thinking about what others think about us. I mean, you don't get there fully, but you do have to just live in your truth and realize that our differences are what make us a unique blessing to the area we're in.
When you got to Pratt & Whitney, what was the culture like there? And I say what was the culture like there because as a black engineer, as a woman, when you got there, what was it like for you?
I tell you, when I stepped into those doors, like almost 20 years ago, I was like, I'm home. I have to say, I worked at a couple other companies before. I was the only woman. I've been told women shouldn't be engineers and some of those other roles. I come to this company, there's diverse, women, Hispanics, Asians, Black, everybody. Working together to solve the problem. And what's the problem? The problem is keeping people safe when they fly, that our engines are up there and we are responsible for, 250 people at a time, keeping them safe when they're on our products. And so when you marshal around such a strong, goal,
right.
Then you see a lot of synergy and a lot of working together. And not say we don't, fight like family,
right.
but we get things done and we pay attention to the important things. So I have really enjoyed, I've lived overseas for this company. I lived in Singapore for 2 years. I've traveled a lot to support our business internationally. So the opportunities that I've gained while here is been tremendous. Thank you.
One thing.
Go ahead, Anthony.
One quick thing. I'm looking on your resume, which is impressive, and we didn't even get into everything that you've accomplished. But one thing that stands out for me, it says that you're very active in your local community, and you engage the next generation through various speaking engagements. And this is critically important because this is how we're gonna engage some of the youths and expose them and share some of the knowledge that you've acquired over the years. Talk to us about this and how important it is to you.
Well, we definitely need to make sure that our young people are interested in STEM. And I always joke that engineers, when we go out and talk to young people, if we're not careful, we turn them off. Because, it's hard to explain what we do and why what we do is critical. And at the end of the day, we solve problems. And we look at a problem that affects how we live every day, how we work every day. The sun is science. The rain is science. The cars are science. Everything that we do. And we try to solve problems to make them better and more efficient and faster, and that's pretty cool. I work on jet engines. That's pretty cool technology, and so I want to make sure that everybody isn't shying away from that as a next level role. Rascal will ask me another question.
So you work on jet engine, Anthony. Think about this. The next time you take a flight, that engine may be an engine that Dionne had a hand in, Anthony Turner.
Yes.
At times, and as I sit here and I look at you and I listen to you talk, I just wish at times that I could get my children up early enough to bring them here to meet some of the people that we have interviewed. Someone like you would have been can be a great motivator for my two young girls, and I'm sure they're not thinking engineer, Anthony. I'm not sure about your daughter, Anthony, if she's thinking engineer, but as I said earlier on, yes, we have a lot of lawyers and we have a lot of doctors, and we're just overcrowded with nurses and stuff like that in our community. And not to say there's nothing wrong with anyone being a nurse, but to achieve what you achieve, and Anthony, you said that you have missed some of the stuff that she has achieved. When we come back after the station break, anything you miss, I want you to put it back out there on the table, because I want people to know that this woman has achieved a great deal in life to be the first African American woman, and let's put it blunt, first black woman to be in the position that she's in at United Technology, Pratt & Whitney. It is just amazing. It's just an amazing thing to know that one of us has achieved this position in life. Huh?
Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Groovin Radio, our very, very special guest this Saturday morning. And I don't want you to cry now. Our very, very special guest. Yeah, she is the program chief engineer for operational commercial engines at United Technology Corporation, a Pratt & Whitney company. In the company's 91 years history, she's in a position that no other black woman has ever been in. I hope the community listening out there, I hope you have your youngsters' ears glued to the radio this morning, and let them know that sky's the limit. No one can stop your dream. Only you can. If you had an opportunity, Dionne, if you had an opportunity to go back to Jamaica to share your experience, would it be something that you'd be open to talk to the youngsters there about all of this?
Of course, that would definitely be, part of my passion is to share with young people that you can achieve from, with the right resilience. I mean, we all have things that try to hold us back, and we all have people who have opinions that don't go with what our truth is. But if you work on your truth, and I think if you ask anybody, not just myself, but anybody who's really fought to go get where they're going, there is adversity, but the whole joy of it, the whole journey of it is for you to power through that and get to where, and a lot of times adversity is in your head. And so if you can power through, get through that and get through the outside world and keep moving forward, the skies are the limits is an amazing thing for you. And so, yes, I would absolutely enjoy talking to kids anywhere. I do it, I just go out and talk to kids, because at the end of the day, all of us need to climb, and all of us need to move forward in this and choose these disciplines that are maybe non-traditional for women, but I want them to become traditional, right?
When you tell people that you're from Jamaica, and believe you?
Well, like I said, you can hear it in my voice, so they do believe it, so I don't really get any. I mean, I used to live in Texas for a while, and so so maybe because they're not used to hearing it, they wouldn't pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the journey, if you had a chance to do it over again, is there anything that you would have changed? You think the journey is exactly what you wants it to be?
You know, it is like you can't. What could I dream of to be different, right? If it was easier, I wouldn't be where I am today. If it was harder, I wouldn't be where I am today, right? So either way, you know, your path. I just say it's following the path journey, and you know, the support system is key. The family, the friends, you know, and everybody. It's a unit. Everyone is not making it by themselves. There's no such thing as it's lonely at the top, right? There's a group of supporters, mentors, sponsors, family that are working with you. So, you know, I can't say I would change it, you know, because I'm enjoying it.
When we come back after the station break, we're going to talk family. We're going to talk community. And we're going to wrap this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special mic check guest in our studios this Saturday morning. She came all the way from East Hartford, Connecticut. As I said before, she is the program chief engineer for operational commercial engines at United Technology, a Pratt & Whitney company, ladies and gentlemen. First African-American woman to be in such a position. And I want you to take a listen to this song because I really mean the lyrics of this song. Grooving Radio this morning to the voice of Chronix. The name of the song is Legend. And yes, indeed, we are in the presence of someone who one of these days you are going to say that Miss Dionne Henry is a true Jamaican legend. And I mean every words that I just said. My name is Rastlin. Welcome back to the final 23 minutes of Groovin Radio's presentation this Saturday morning. And we must say thanks to the Door Restaurant, who is our main sponsor for this program. That's why we can bring you programming like this, ladies and gentlemen. And do remember that the Door Restaurant is open on Thanksgiving Day, only for catering purposes only. 718-525-1083. That is 718-525-1083. Our very special mic check guest this Saturday morning is Miss Dionne Henry. She is the program chief engineer for operational commercial engine, OCE, at United Technology Corporation, Pratt & Whitney Company. Aircraft engines up there in East Hartford, Connecticut. She's the first African-American woman to sit in the role that she's in. Welcome back, Miss Henry.
Thank you very much.
You're a legend. You're a legend, definitely.
It's, you know, I'm just in this space doing what I do.
Yes,
so I
definitely
appreciate that you're saying.
Ordinary person just like you doing some great things for us. Anthony Turner, welcome back.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Hello, Anthony. By the way, I want to say our family is at the door all the time.
Yeah, I know. Your dad is there. Your mom is there. As a matter of fact, the other day I was there sitting with your dad, and he says, hold on. He said, I got to run. I got to take home some dinner for her. She just came from the gym, and he ran home. But we're going to talk a bit about family. And I know your family is, I mean, they're well-rounded. Your brothers and your one sister, your other sister, you know, you guys have achieved so much in life. I'm hoping to catch up with your sister here on this program one of these days.
Yes. She's our doctor in the family.
Yes.
She has her EDD.
Yeah. Growing up, Dionne, as we get back into the interview, who were some of the persons that inspired you?
You know, I would say, you know, first and foremost, you know, just my family and the work ethic that they put in us, and the fact that, you know, school was, you know, something that they told us nobody can take away from you. And so there was always a push to you know, follow your education. Then, you know, the teachers, I told you one story and of teachers that really, you know, impacted my life as well, you know, as we learn and grow. I'd say, you know, that, you know, the Colin Powell, You know, he's a Jamaican, right? You know, Miss Michelle Obama, or you know, those kind of person who choose the positive,
Aye.
you know, and choose to you know to put themselves out there, you know, and do the right things and live in an ethical way. Those are just the people that.
When we talk about United Technologies, people might hear us mention United Technologies. A lot of people have heard about Pratt & Whitney. Break it down for the community. Break it down for the listeners, what United Technologies does.
So United Technologies is a conglomerate of companies that includes Pratt & Whitney aircraft engines. And at this time, it includes Carrier air conditioning and Otis elevators, and Collins Aerospace. So it's kind of a diversified portfolio that they have. That's kind of changing as we're moving forward in the future. And so Pratt & Whitney is just one of those companies.
And you know, when we talk about, Anthony, when we talk about military aircrafts, Pratt & Whitney,
F-135.
I mean, you guys are leaders in these aircrafts.
They are. Yes, we are. My company does. I work on the commercial side, and there's a lot going on the technical side. Some of the stuff I can't even talk about or don't even know about, because we try to make sure our nation is war ready at all times, and just doing some phenomenal things there as well. Proud of those my military teammates.
And you know, we still have a lot to talk about family. Phone lines are ringing. I'm not even sure if we should interrupt and take a call or two, Anthony. But you know, at the end of the day, for us to have a person like a Miss Dionne Henry with us and sharing her journey, sharing her story, mommy and daddy was always there to encourage you. Huh?
Yes, definitely. I mean, you know, it was not all, you know, there's hugs and slaps, right? You know, we're still Jamaican culture. So, you know, it's about keeping you motivated and,
keeping you in line, right?
You know, and keeping you in line as well, you know. You know, what I remember just, you know, whenever I was sad about something, you know, mom would say, let's just have a cup of tea. And I was like, how is that going to cure anything? And she's like, let's have a cup of tea. And it did cure it. So I encourage the cup of tea.
But one thing, Dionne, again, you know, your resume speaks for itself, quite impressive. CT Woman of Innovation nominee back in 2014, recipient of the Woman of Color STEM Conference in 2019. But just take our listeners through what a typical day for you. And I know there are lots of things that we can't talk about, you know, because they're classified. But just in general, what a typical day for an executive, a business executive for you is like?
Wow. You know, we are constantly making sure our products, you know, as they fly every day, stay reliable and that we are, you know, at the utmost safety. So we are, every day we are looking at, you know, incidents. We're looking at how strong our products are, what we can do to improve the product, what we can use from technology across our value stream to make us better, and then how we can infuse that into what we do to, you know, again, to positively impact our customer experience. So I meet with my engineers on a regular basis. We have several programs that form under the commercial operational groups, and so we meet with those programs and talk to them about what they want, and then, you know, engage that from a technical and reliability standpoint and do the analyticals to see what is the right thing to do and how we make it safe. So, you know, essentially solve problems every day.
You know, earlier on you talk about colleges, or you refer to something like that in terms of the recruitment. How do you guys recruit at United Technologies? Or how do you guys recruit at Pratt & Whitney? Because I know some universities, they have a particular way, some companies have a particular way of recruiting from certain schools. What is your recruitment program like?
So we do recruit at universities, to your point, and there is, you know, schools that we have a partnership with. We also have our website that folks can just go on and input their resumes, and roles that we have open, and they can put resumes in. We are, a technology focused company, so a lot of engineers. We have, I would say, about 7,000 engineers that are working in engineering, and then there's engineers in other groups like quality or supplier management and things like that. So there's a lot of folks doing that. And one of the things we did talk about NSBE, and NSBE is a big part of our but NSBE, Society of Hispanic Professionals, so there's a lot of recruiting and making sure that we keep not the first step, but go deeper step to make sure that diversity and inclusion is a big part of what we do.
Since you got to United Technologies, have you seen a change in terms of the makeup of the company? And when I say that, I mean in terms of the amount of women engineer coming in, the amount of African American, and so on. Have you seen a change in that?
I've seen that we make an effort to make sure everybody, that we have a diverse group of people, and we've keep that up, so I see us not just taking our fair share. I think there's like 20% of women graduate undergrad engineering, and I think our numbers are higher than that for the amount of women. I don't know the exact numbers, but my point is that we are, we don't try to stay on curve. We try to stay ahead. So I am really proud of how the amount of people that we attract and we bring in, and when you look around, that the demographics is looking different. So yes, I would say that we are seeing a change and a difference in that. And we're, the company's looking at a paradigm for parity as well, with the number of women in high level positions in the company.
How can we get more youngsters? And I know sometimes it's a challenge, but how can we get more youngsters to be involved in the field of engineering? What do you think?
That's a challenge. I mean, with the age of the electronics and the phones and things like that, and wanting to more of the public eye type of things, it is a challenge to choose to do something that has a long-term benefit to your life and your career. So I mean, that is a tough question to ask, how we solve that, right? So just getting the word out, talking to them, us being the adults in their lives, to make decisions to take them to the science museum or engage in a requirement to continue your education. Give them the challenge of going on to college, and going beyond that, and get them interested early. Get your students and your kids interested early in that science is cool. But it is a challenge that we face, I think.
Go
ahead, Anthony.
Dionne, as an engineer, one of the things that a lot of times we don't really get into is, when I look at your resume, you first did your engineering degree and then you went back and did your MBA. Talk to us about the importance of combining both to achieve some of the success that you have achieved.
So, great question. I did earn my degree while as a working professional. So, I do encourage, that we go back and get an advanced degree, your master's degree or higher. The MBA gives you an ability to understand the business. So, being an engineer, you can engage in your discipline. With your undergrad degree, you can engage in your discipline, whether it's a design or a structural, solving problems that are unique to the technical nature of the product. And the business degree helps you then to understand how everything works together in the enterprise of the company. And so you have a bigger understanding of what else needs to happen so that the the body of the company moves, you know what I mean? So the two to me worked very well. Some people choose to go on for their master's in engineering, which is fantastic as well. It's not about, to me, what you're doing, is that you're actually doing it. Because whether you engage in that program or not, you will be 3 years older or 4 years older, and now you could be one with an additional degree.
Well, Anthony, with the limited time we have, I'm going to squeeze a call or two in. So let me do this. Let me go to the phone lines and take this first call. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Yes, good morning. I'm calling from the Maryland area, and it so happened I was introduced to the program by your buddy Byron Park.
Hold on. You're calling from where?
Maryland.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. What's your comment?
I'd like to commend the lady. Her name is what, Miss Henry?
Miss Henry, Dionne Henry.
Dionne, I'd like to commend you, and I'd like to thank you. I can see you're very humble still. To leave all the way from Connecticut to come and do this program this morning, and I just called to say thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the comment.
Before you go, though, are you inspired by her journey?
Oh, very much. My son, I've got 3 sons, and the last one is presently at Morgan State University in the engineering program. So,
same place as my daughter.
And so I feel very proud, of her background and what she has accomplished.
Yes, I'd like to encourage your son to stick it out. It's going to be hard sometimes, but you're the only one who knows that this is your calling, and you just keep on persevering through it, and it will happen for you too. And I need someone to come and replace me as program chief engineer. So I need people to move into these spaces.
Yeah, I have one more question for you before you go, Carla. Who you said introduced you to this program?
Well, a buddy of yours, Byron, Mr. Parks, he's in his office now in Manhattan, listening to the program.
Okay.
Byron Parks.
Okay, great. Morning, Byron. Good morning. I know a lot of my engineering friends them from Canada and everywhere. I know they're locked into the program. Thanks much, caller.
Thank you very much.
All right, give thanks. If we had 2 more hours here, we could take quite a few more calls, but I have some spoken words that I want you to hear, and I want the community to do. I've played this a few times, Anthony, but I'm just wondering how many people are really paying attention to the words of this that I play. Spoken words, ladies and gentlemen, before we go.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people, you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to wrap this presentation. But those spoken words that you just heard, Miss Henry, I'd love to hear your thoughts before we wrap this morning.
That's such good advice. We really do need to surround ourselves with positivity and positive people that are for us and want to help us learn and grow and are there to speak into our truth. You develop a habit in the little matters. I love that because, you're not going to get the whole dozen eggs first. You're going to get one egg to take care of. And if you break it, then that shows that you need to go back and do that one egg again. And if you take care of the one egg, then you will get to take care of the bigger piece.
I know you have families and friends listening to us this morning. Are there anyone you'd like to say good morning to and thank you to?
Yes, I definitely want to say big ups to Dionne, Deshawn, Delia, Pierre, Okino, folks that have really helped me and grow, and my parents, of course. I mentioned them a couple of times. And family and friends out there, this is me mentioning you all by name as well. And, love you and the support that you've given me over the years.
Promise me one thing.
Yes, sir.
You'll come back.
Okay. I would love to. Yeah. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Rasclem, for this opportunity. Big ups to WVIP. I really appreciate
we'd love to have you back. Ladies and gentlemen, our very, very special mic check guest this Saturday morning, Miss Dionne Henry. She is the program chief engineer for operational commercial engines at United Technology. Pratt & Whitney is one of the companies owned by United Technologies. And ladies and gentlemen, she came all the way from Hartford, Connecticut to be with us this morning. Thank you very much, Miss Henry. We will certainly do this again. And ladies and gentlemen, you owe all the thanks to the Door Restaurant for these presentations that we do here. Anthony Turner, we're happy to be a part of this.
Absolutely, and I'm really proud and happy that you invited her because a lot of times the engineering job is not one of those sexy jobs that everybody talks to. So glad you had her on, and it was very informative, and I'm sure she must have inspired many young men and women in our community.
Groovin Radio was executively produced by Clement Hume and Christopher Roberts. Groovin Radio was hosted by Rasclem. Contributing to our presentation this morning, we got to say thanks to the American Foundation for the University of the West Indies, Miss Anne-Marie Grant. She joined us. We got news courtesy of the Jamaica Gleaner. Mr. Damien Mitchell was your presenter with Jamaica Now. Anthony Turner, who is our writer, he provided entertainment report, and he provided the bio for our very special mic check guest, Miss Dionne Henry. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Do remember that this program comes your way compliments of the Door Restaurant, 718-525-1083. That is 718-525-1083. Get your Thanksgiving dinner catered by the Door Restaurant. They're going to be open on Thanksgiving Day for catering purposes only. Waiting on the other side of the 11:30 hour, it is going to be the Wake Up Radio team. Until 6 p.m. tomorrow, my name is Rasclem. See you then.